Setting pricing in Prime Food Service Software. As we've worked with various food distributors implementing Prime Food Service Software, we've seen every different type of pricing model out there, and we understand how flexible the system needs to be in order for our clients to create their pricing models. Before we jump into setting up pricing models, I quickly want to show you how Prime Food Service Software is structured. As we look at the item class, you can see the associated hierarchical tree. If there is no specific pricing model set for a particular child, we can navigate up the tree to the parent and see the pricing model for the parent, which will then be related to the child. At the point where pricing comes into play, we know two things for certain. We know who the customer is, and we know what the item is. This means that we can establish a price rule for a particular customer, for a customer class like cafeterias, prisons, delis, restaurants, etc., or for a price class. So that's the order we'll use for setting pricing. It will look first to see if there's pricing set for the specific customer. If not, it will expand to look at the class the customer belongs to. If I can't find that, can I find something that's related to the price class? For this example, we'll have pricing set specific to the customer. So I'm going to pick the appropriate customer record. So now when it comes to the item, we can either get a very granular match and say, for this customer, for this item, here's how we're going to price it. Or if we can't find a particular item specifically identified, we can look to that tree and navigate up the tree to see if we can find a price model for it. And again, if we can't find that, then we go look at the item price class. Then we will determine how we will calculate the price. If we're going to do a fixed price amount, we can simply enter that here. We can do cost plus the dollar amount, so I get the cost price plus $1. I can do a target gross margin percent for that item, or I can get X percent over cost. So those are the models for coming up with price. However, the last three models all rely on us knowing some type of cost. So the next thing we have to determine is, how do we decide what cost is? For the cost method model, you can determine customer by customer, price class by price class, or item by item. Here is where we set the rules in determining the cost in this particular situation. Is it a market cost? Is it last cost plus landed? Is it my true average cost or some combination of those? What we're defining here is how we will come up with our costs so that we can come up with their price. You also have the capability to adjust costs as needed. For example, you can include adjustments if you're using market costs, but then you have add-ons for spiffs, overhead, or the like. Finally, the amount you see here relates to the price basis. Is this a dollar amount, a percentage, or a fixed price amount? With all of these scenarios, we believe that Prime Food Service Software covers almost every way that companies can calculate a cost. However, the system is easily modified if you run into a situation where you need to adapt cost calculations quickly. For example, we have a client that has a contract with the customer stipulating that they price at cost plus 18%. After that pricing was set up, they came back to us and said that they needed cost plus 18% exempt if their customer buys coffee products. Then it's a gross margin percent. Within the system, we have the flexibility to accomplish this either by item class or a combination of item class and price class. For specific pricing questions or to learn about Prime Food Service Software, contact us today.